Located on the southern half of Faerun, below the Sword Coast, you can find the lush Jungles of Chult. Once an island, it is now a peninsula that connects with Faerun via the newly re-emerged Thindal. If you visit, you will most likely be arriving by boat or magic, as no safe roads exist on land. Your two main ports are Fort Belluarian, a small place with a population a little shy of 1,000, or the Grand Omnish settlement of Port Nyranzaru. Fort Belluarian is an army encampment run by the Flaming Fist. The inhabitants there are well-organized fighting men that can be hired for ventures into the jungle. They have skilled scouts and rangers for this very purpose. You will also be able to find lodging and healing there, but unless you're with the Flaming Fist, it will come at a steep price. Port Nyranzaru is a much larger town, with around 12,000 inhabitants. Built this colony with defense in mind. High walls line the city to repel sea pirates, and its 3 gates are guarded around the clock to defer any looming jungle threats. Most of the people in Nyranzaru work for one of the many Omnish mercantile groups that have an outpost in the town. They are usually based specialists on a work rotation, or permanent settlers who have managed to secure a job with the outpost. You'll also find a large group of non-mercantile employees who live in a shanty town outside the walls. These people survive as best they can, hoping to one day be able to move inside the walls. So, as an adventurer, what can you expect to find in the Jungles of Chult? On the creature side, we have dinosaurs big and small. We have plants that feed on flesh, diseases that will rot your innards, and mosquitoes bigger than rats. A true delight. Of the more intelligent life forms, well, we don't know the exact numbers, but we do have some rough estimations on the peoples of Chult. About half the population is of human or tabaxi origin, followed by a very large group of ptera-men goblins that makes up about 1/5 of the inhabitants. Lizard folk and yuan-ti make up about 1/10 of the residents each. Wild dwarves, as well as dwergar, make up around 1/20 of the population, with a similar amount of terra folk thrown in the mix as well. The remaining population comes from all the other races of Faerun, most of whom will be located in Port Nyranzaru. Tabaxi? Ptera? Wild dwarves? Terra folk? Yes, people who come from the mainland might not be familiar with these people. Tabaxi is what most humans native to Chult consider themselves. While they also arrange themselves in tribes, Tabaxi is their shared culture and language. Non-Tabaxi are viewed as outsiders and strangers, and will often be looked upon with suspicion. Ptera goblins are goblins that have adapted themselves to jungle life and stayed above ground. They form clans and generally don't work together above the clan level. Most other races fear these goblins for their tracking skill, something which only the wild dwarves can outmatch them at. Wild dwarves are dark-skinned and found in hunting bands between 20 and 200. You'll find them above ground, often in trees and the valleys in the jungle. They are savage but shy, seldom talkative but not always hostile. Terra folk are easily confused with lizard men, but a closer look reveals that they lack their distinctive tail and are far taller and leaner than your average lizard man. They also have the ability to grow wings at will and are far more intelligent than lizard folk. Terra folk are also notoriously evil and aggressive. Terra folk often live in tribes that are headed by a spirit naga, so if you end up in a fight with a gang of Terra folk, dying might be a better option than being captured. The Terra folk worship their clan's spirit naga as a goddess, who in turn worships the Shakinister, an aspect of the world serpent. The wild dwarves all worship Thard Har, the dwarven god of jungle survival and hunting. The Tabaxi mostly worship one of the many spirit aspects of Ubteo, the guardian of Chult and the Peaks of Flame, and the creator of Mesro. The Peak is a holy place to the Tabaxi, as it holds the doors that keep Dendar, the night serpent, closed away. Dendar is prophesied to eat the sun and the world if ever let loose, and it is Ubteo's responsibility to make sure this never happens. The Yuan-Ti population, on the other hand, are working toward just this. Several Yuan-Ti cults are trying to free the Night Serpent. With the destruction of Mesro, the Yuan-Ti are closer than ever before to achieving this goal. What's Mesro? A once great holy city, now destroyed and filled with more undead than Fae. It was built by Ubteo himself to house his worshippers, but during the spell plague, the entire city collapsed. Stay away from Mesro if you can. The undead are dangerous enough, but the lingering energy of a once holy city is bad mojo all around.
Next time we will travel someplace further north. This might not say much, almost everything in Faerun is north of the Chult. But as always, follow the word of Ogma, and like, share, subscribe.